episode Conversations. Right, as usual, you have your two favorite hosts, myself, Elizabeth Olujimi, and
Kirubai Kahoot. Happy to be here. Happy to welcome you to another amazing episode.
awesome. So, Kirubai, how are you? How's your day been?
My day has been productive,
Mhm.
trying to work out in the gym. And you know what? Interestingly, um, it's not as bad as I thought because
That's
you meet a
good.
lot of people, you smile and you say hello, and it gets it's chance for me and Robert to do it together. So it's some time spent together, even though he's got his ears plugged in and I've got my ears plugged in, listening to something. But you know what? All is good. All is good. We
But
try to
Kirubai,
keep this body, the temple, healthy.
awesome. Do you know what? I love the idea of going to the gym together. That's a nice thing that couples can do together. Especially like if you're someone who wants to go to the gym, but you need some accountability or you need some motivation, then
Mhm.
going together can actually really help.
Yes. So
Mm.
we do it together, about an hour, and then kid each other, nudge each other, push each other. Come on, do this, do faster. But I just take it in my own pace.
That's good.
It's all about building your momentum.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you do, Elizabeth?
What did I do today? So today I had the pleasure of hosting a session for women in business.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the venue we used was NatWest at Islington.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally a time for women in business, entrepreneurs, freelancers to come together and just, I guess, talk about their businesses, what they're doing, how their businesses are going, share ideas, learn, network, and that sort of thing.
Good.
So
Good place to be in the morning, eh?
absolutely, and it was really good. It was such an encouragement to go, and everyone that turned up literally made it what it was. So it was really good. So I met some
Mm,
new people because we had some new faces
that's
and
great.
some familiar faces. So it was nice.
So, it's all, do guys join or it's all women?
This is just for women.
Ah, okay.
This
Women
one
in
is
business.
it's women in business.
Ah,
So this is for women. But do you know what? I don't think we would chase a guy away if he did show up.
yeah.
I think if a guy showed up, we would, yeah, we would welcome him in. But
I think it's great place to be, empowering one another with your stories and your experiences and time to share your challenges. I think it's a great place to be.
no, absolutely. I would encourage anyone who is in business, interested in business, to find a community that they can network with, a community that they can grow with, a
Mhm.
community where and it's not necessarily that, oh, I'm going there to, meet this person, meet that person, but actually just coming to a place where there's people who have some sort of similarity with you, and the similarities that you're all building businesses, right? So there'll be some common experiences that you might be able to share. There might be some lessons, there might be some ideas you can take away. One of the things that I end up finding myself talking a lot about when we go for these businesses is visibility,
Mm.
because we're all doing, we're all, most of the women that come are small business owners, or they're people who are starting out. And visibility can be such a big, it can be such a big thing, because if your business is not visible, if your product or your service is not visible, then how can customers connect with you? How can clients connect with you? So um, I think over the past 3 years that I've been doing my business, I have seen my visibility grow, with the different things that I've been involved in. And so I love, like, putting it out there to different people to say, get your business out there a bit more. And one of the things I say to one of the ladies today was, you have to be your biggest cheerleader,
Mhm.
and you have to be willing to do what it takes to bring your business in front of, the people that you need to bring it in front of. So yeah, visibility, that's a good conversation.
But you know what? getting it right the first time. I mean, getting it right. Putting all these things in the perspective of business. You see, when I started my business, I was so afraid to be visible.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was a challenge for me. But you know what? Seeing others doing what they're doing and how they're doing well, especially you, Elizabeth, because of your visibility, that I connected with you.
That's true. That's true. And here we are today doing episode 55 of Confidence Culture Conversations.
Yeah, and it's running for more than a year and a half now.
Absolutely.
So you never know what happens when you are visible, who you connect with, who your destiny connected could be.
There you go. There you go. Well, the truth is, right? So some people, by getting visible, they've found a spouse.
Oh yeah, we spoke about this last week, no?
Yeah. We mentioned it. It came into the conversation. So like your visibility can work in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some people out there who are scared of getting visible. They're scared of getting visible because they don't want people to be in their business.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people to know what they're up to. But if, for example, you're a business owner, getting visible helps you to promote your business. So visibility helps you to grow your business. If you are, whatever it is that you're doing, we talked about gifts and talents last week, and we talked about like being visible with your gifts and your talents.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important. Why would you have a gift and a talent that you just hide in one little corner somewhere and you do nothing with? No, it's not just for you. It's for you to bless the world. It's for you to solve a problem in the world, not just to solve your own problems. Like if we had businesses that we were doing to solve our own problems, how would we make profit? Because are you going to pay yourself? Are you going to invoice yourself?
Oh, good question.
So it's important for us to be able to just put ourselves out there. And yes, sometimes it's scary. Yes, it's daunting. And when you put yourself out there, it means that you are opening up the door for people to say whatever they want to say. And so you have to be able to know what to take in, what to throw away, what to hold on to.
Before we go to the topic, or today's topic, tell them about the challenge. It's still not too late to join, right? Your challenge?
Absolutely not. It's not too late to join. So, for those that are joining and you're wondering, what is this challenge that she is talking about? So, I run a challenge for Christian women who want to start showing up more consistently on social media. The beauty of the challenge is that you can be anywhere in the world to join the challenge. As long as you have a Facebook page, that's the starting place. Having a Facebook account is the starting place because we run it predominantly through a Facebook group. But in that Facebook group, everyone who signs up joins the Facebook group, and I post videos in there literally every day. I post a video to encourage the women to go and show up and shine. And when we talk about showing up and shining, like it's not just about thank you, Tunji, for joining us this evening. It's not just about showing up and shining to show yourself off, but it's showing up and shining and being a blessing to people, being a source of encouragement, a source of hope, being a light, to others, because there's so much darkness out there. And for me, as a Christian, we as Christians, like we are the light, right? We have a light that we carry, and we shouldn't be afraid to show up with the light. We shouldn't be afraid to be the light in the different places that we're in. So if you are a Christian woman who struggles to show up consistently on social media, I can help you. I would love to help you. I really would. Kiruba is part of that group, that community, so she knows what I'm talking about. And you know what? One of the beauties of being part of the right community is that you get encouragement, you get support, you get challenged, you get motivated, you get inspired to keep showing up. Sometimes like you can post something on social media and no one comments, no one likes. But when you're part of this community, at least one person in the community is going to like your post. So at least you're guaranteed. And if everyone in the community did that, you would have a lot more, engagement with your posts as well. So you have that. This is the link if you want to join and be part of the challenge. Ooh, hi, Pauline, all the way from Enfield. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation. So, Kirubai, are you ready for us to go into the conversation, or should we do some more promo? We'll
Oh
do promo
no,
later.
no. A little later, I think we should go into this amazing conversation for the month of February. We Elizabeth and I, we thought that this month, a very special month. February is always a month of dedicated to relationships, romance, connections with um, friends, family, anything to do with the relationships. And there's so much noise being made about relationships, Valentine's Day. So we thought that we will take on our next 4 weeks on the subject of relationships. And today we're going to speak about expressing gratitude in our relationships. Why is gratitude important in a relationship? Most of the time, we can take each other, friends, family, our spouse, our children, our loved ones for granted.
You are absolutely right.
So, we want to dive into this subject of being grateful, expressing gratitude in a relationship. It doesn't mean just a boy and a girl in the sense romantic relationship, but it goes across the board.
Yep.
Across the board, relationships. So I'm going to throw this curveball at my sparring partner here. So, Elizabeth, what is your take on relationships, and where do we go wrong? Let's tackle the things that might go wrong. I openly said about taking people for granted. What other things can happen in a relationship where we forget to say thank you? I'm grateful for you.
Wow. That's like a big question, and it really makes me think, because as I was getting ready for this session, I was thinking to myself, imagine just being in a relationship, in a friendship, whatever, with somebody, and that person never ever said thank you. Like, what would that feel like? Would you even want to continue the friendship with that person? You'd probably want like to walk away from them, because gratitude can be such a source of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of like relationships, and I guess the aspect of gratitude in relationships, like where there is no gratitude, a relationship cannot thrive. A relationship cannot grow,
True.
because like you said, the lack of appreciation, taking you for granted. They say, they say out there, it is said that go where you are celebrated, not tolerated.
Oh, I like that.
So if you are, imagine, no, seriously, let's picture it, right? Imagine you are in an environment, let's say a work environment, and no one ever appreciates you for the work that you do, or you are part of a team somewhere, and you never get any form of appreciation, not even like, Kirubai, well done, not like nothing. Imagine you are, let's say you're someone who works in a hospital, and the patients never even ever say thank you, or like, just imagine that. Imagine working in an environment where nobody says thank you. It would be depressing. It'd be depressing, and actually, I think it can affect your mental well-being. I'm going to say that. I'm going to throw it there.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
it can affect you, like being in an environment where you are never appreciated. Oh my days! If you're in such an environment, run, run. It's not good for you. You're not encouraged to grow. You're not encouraged to express yourself, to be better. Oh, it's a tough one.
Elizabeth, did you remember when we were going through lockdown, where once a week we stood out and bang our pots and our pans, and we applauded the NHS, the care workers? I think we got to do that, because sometimes there's a lot of people who who stay alone and who don't have any company. And
You're right. You're right. And you know what? It seemed like something very like a small thing to do. Like you're saying we're putting our lives on the line, and all you can do is clap for us and hit some saucepans and make some noise. But actually, it's that thought that someone is showing appreciation for the work that you're doing, and that goes a long way. And you know what? One thing that breaks my heart sometimes is that sometimes we leave it too late before we show appreciation.
mhm, mhm.
And it's so painful to lose somebody, for example, and you never ever had the opportunity to appreciate them. I remember one time saying to a friend, like this friend was talking about, how they looked up to their dad, and their dad was this, their dad was that. And I said, have you ever sat down with your dad and actually told him, Dad, I love you and thank you for being this and that? And he was like, no, I haven't had the chance to do it, but I'm going to do it at some point. A few months later, or even weeks, his dad passed away.
Oh, what a shame.
And I'm like, learn to show appreciation whenever possible, which is literally every day you're encountering people. Like there's no, in fact, thank you to anybody who has ever watched a Confidence Culture conversation,
That's right. We
because it
appreciate you.
encourages us when you tune in, when you share it, when you comment, when you like, it encourages us. So thank you. We appreciate you. Trust me. We don't take it lightly. We don't take it lightly that you would take your time out to listen to what we're saying.
Mhm.
So we really we are grateful for you. But it's so important for us to be grateful every day, even something as small as saying thank you to the bus
Oh,
driver,
I always do that, Elizabeth. I
or
always do
or
that.
even saying thank you to the waiter or waitress. Yes, it's
Mhm.
their job, that's okay, but you can still just thank you.
You know what? I take it a little further. Robert thinks I'm a bit loony, but you know what? Whenever I go into a clean toilet, and if the cleaners are there, I always say thank you because it is a hard job.
It is
So I always
you're
say
right.
thank you.
You're right. Honestly, if you're watching, and you have some experiences of, you
Yeah.
know, some experiences of gratefulness or even a lack of gratitude in a relationship, like let us know, if you don't mind sharing, or if you have any questions around it, like feel free to just pop those questions in the chat and we will pick them up as we're going along. But like, it's being able to even say thank you as a business owner to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for supporting, because every little like and this, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, gratitude can help to increase our dopamine levels.
Yeah, that's right. Our well-being.
It
Mm-hmm.
makes us happy. So actually, it's like medication.
Free, free.
It's like medication, like, honestly. So if you look at like people who express gratitude and people who don't, you can see a difference.
Mhm. The
But
the
coming back to relationships, right?
I just want to comment on that. When you said, for those who are grateful and those who are not grateful, it evidently reflects on their face because it is the affair, the state of their hearts.
Mm,
So if you are, these are things like you're not born to be having these attributes, but it's something that you can cultivate, Elizabeth,
absolutely.
don't you think so? And having a heart of gratitude takes you a long way. And thank you, Pauline, for that comment. Yeah, here we talk. we talk real. There's no nothing is masked here. Free, nothing is masked. We are just real, and we want to be real because the world has got too many fake people wearing masks, and
Mm,
we want to be real. We are women, Christian women, and God has called us to be authentic and real.
that's it. That's true.
Go ahead. Speak about relationships, my sister.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking. So Tunji's on here, right? My
Mm.
husband. And just imagine, like, and Kiribai, I'm sure Robert is in the room somewhere, somewhere in the house anyway. But imagine being in a, let's say, a romantic relationship, right? And you never appreciate your spouse. Like you would get angry. You would start throwing plates or food even. You'd be like, you ungrateful, you ungrateful person. But when you're able to say thank you, like I'm sure like anything that you need, your spouse would be like, okay, what is it? What do
Yes,
you want
yes,
today?
definitely, definitely.
So you can, the thing with gratitude, I will even go as far as saying it creates an immediate impact.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, there's some people that don't hear thank you that much. And when all of a sudden someone says thank you to them, they're like, oh, they might even burst into tears because it's never really been said to them.
Mm. And it strengthens relationships.
It does.
Yeah.
It
And
does.
yeah,
Our relationship wouldn't be the way it is if we were never grateful for each
mm,
other.
yes, it's important. But you know what, Elizabeth, one of the things that it's just came into my mind is uh when a lot of people don't know how to reciprocate thank you,
Mm,
they can't say when somebody says thank you, Elizabeth, for doing this. You might say you're welcome, or um I appreciate your gesture or something. Some people can never take that, and that is the state of their heart, to receive.
ouch. Ouch. Kiribai just went in. She just went into the heart.
Mm, mm,
But as you were saying it, the thing that came to mind, or the phrase that came to mind, is when someone says thank you, you're like, oh, it's nothing. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
accept it.
Accept it.
You're
Learning
welcome.
acceptance is so important.
Ooh, ooh.
And it's something that those who are struggling with it, need to work on it, because this is something very small, yet there's a magnanimity about it. God is waiting to bless us. And sometimes, because of our state of our heart, we are not able to receive.
Mm,
So being grateful to God, grateful for the things that He has given us thus far, the things that He is giving us. So, gratefulness is like, in everything give thanks, for it is His will and purpose. So, this struck me as I was talking today, being grateful even to God. We are encouraged to being great, say thank you, Jesus, or thank you, Lord, or thank you. We in our prayer, or in our adoration, our praise. But God, we can say thank you, but God is waiting to give those things that has yet not taken place. So we should start thanking Him.
mm, mm. But you know what, Kirubai? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what stops people from expressing gratitude?
I think it actually is actually it borders around low self-esteem, Elizabeth.
Ooh,
Mm,
mm. Low
mm,
self-esteem.
mm. I don't know
Pauline,
if any
thanks,
of them will
thanks for
agree.
sharing.
Mm,
Thanks for sharing, Pauline. I feel so grateful that I'm never alone. We have the
amen.
Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We absolutely do. And do you know what, Pauline? When you talk about never being alone, it's so encouraging to know that you are never alone. Like, regardless of what you are experiencing, regardless of what you go through, like, God promises, I will never leave you nor forsake. Ooh, yeah. I'm grateful for that one too. I am grateful for it. Right. So Tunji is saying some things. So let me bring in some comments from him. So something that stops people from being
Oh,
grateful,
okay.
pride. That's true.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm. Low self-esteem, like you said, Kirubai. Personal issues.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, ooh. Personal issues. I think that's a big one right there. And one thing that I was thinking about is culture.
Mm.
It's the way we are brought up. Like, do we encourage gratitude? Because maybe I think about it a lot more as a parent. And one of the things that I'm very, or that me and Tunji are very clued onto, or very intentional with, is we want to train Janaya to be grateful.
Mm.
And so we encourage her to express gratitude. Literally every day we'll ask her, what are you grateful for? Because we are trying to instill it in her that
Yeah.
gratitude is not just something I do, Thanksgiving Sunday. It's not just something I do when something good happens, but actually every day looking for something to be grateful for. Because you know what? It's so easy to find things to complain about. It's so easy to find things to mourn about. You can mourn about the weather. You can mourn about the lack of money, or the amount of money you have or haven't got. You can mourn about how people are treating you. You can mourn about, the public transport. You can mourn about the government. You can, like, there's so many things you can complain about. But do you know, the more you complain, the more frustrated you become.
Yep.
Have you ever tried it before? The more you complain, the more frustrated you become, especially if you're complaining about something you can do nothing about. Like, you can't change the weather. You can't change it. It is what it is. So you either sit there complaining about it, or you find a reason to be grateful for it. So when we come back to this idea of gratitude, the power of gratitude, or the difference gratitude makes in relationships, it's so powerful.
Yeah. Because, in a relationship, you will be going through ups and downs. It's never a plateau. When
Mm,
it's a plateau, you got to wake up and see why is my relationship plateauing? That's another subject for another day. But when we go through mountains and valley experiences in relationship, if we don't come with a heart of gratitude for our partners and spouses,
mm-hmm,
you know um, it kind of, it can dampen that whole relationship.
mm-hmm.
It's something that you need to very mindfully think about, being grateful even in the difficult times in life.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And a
Mm.
lot of people, a lot of relationships break when times are difficult.
Hmm.
So appreciating and showing love and gratitude to one another can actually strengthen that relationship. The
I
statistics, sorry,
Go on.
statistics during COVID, when during lockdown, how many marriages broke down? Why? Even though they were both couples or families in close proximity. Because when you stay apart, you just take it for granted. He will bring in the bread, he will bring in the money, the wife takes care of the family. But when you see each other, and not, the attitude of the wife or the husband and the children, everything is exposed.
Mm.
So a lot of marriages that are not built in strength and in the attitude of gratitude, falls apart.
And you know what? If you are in a relationship that is struggling, and maybe you've tried to talk and you just find yourself feeling so frustrated. I remember one time listening to, let me get the name right. Is it David Evans? I think. And him and his wife run a marriage ministry. Tunji, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's David Evans. They run a marriage ministry, and one of the things they talk about, or one of the things they talked about, I remember watching a clip years ago, and they were talking around communication and just growing and strengthening your relationships. And what they said was, if your spouse does something that you love, or something that you are like, something that makes you happy, something you want them to continue doing, then show appreciation, show, gratitude, to encourage them. And if you notice that if you do that in, relationships, it makes such a huge difference. And someone is encouraged. Like, I love spending time with people who can, like, make me feel happy. And one way to make someone feel happy is just by showing appreciation. Like, I have a neighbor a few doors away, and every so often she'll knock on the door and she'll bring me like a box of chocolates, she'll bring me some flowers, and she just wants to say thank you. And sometimes I'm just like, why? And she's like, because I see your posts on your WhatsApp and they really encourage me, they help me to keep going.
Nice.
And I'm just like, it just encourages me, and I'm like, okay, let's keep going. But it's such a blessing to just, it can make a difference. You can actually lighten up someone's day by just saying thank you. Thank you for offering me a sit. You enter in a busy bus or whatever, and someone gets up to offer you a sit. Just saying, it doesn't have to cost you. This is the thing. Gratitude doesn't have to cost you. It's just a case of you switching your focus and just being able to say thank you. Whether it's, it might not be what you expected. Maybe you expected more, but actually, thank you for this.
So, Elizabeth, for someone who is struggling to say thank you to their spouses or their children, or even to their parents, how can we encourage them? How to start? Where shall we start? I think we need to give a solution for a lot of people who are struggling.
So, one of the things you can do is to have a gratitude journal. And I think if you're on social media, Action Jackson posted something a few weeks ago, and it was about encouraging people to be grateful. And he said, every day, just write one thing. Just write one thing every day. One thing that you're grateful for. Have this journal or notebook, whatever you want to call it, and just write one thing that you're grateful for. And just go and read those things as the days are going on. Every day you're writing, but you're also looking at what you've written, reading through what you've written. And it helps you to have a positive perspective to things. It helps you to shift your focus. So if you find, for example, like you're someone who's always sad, or someone who's always focused on the negative, start with at least one thing. One thing. And honestly, if you're alive, that's one reason to be grateful. That's at least one reason to be grateful. One time I was in a school and I was talking to young kids about being grateful. And they were struggling to understand it. And so I say to them, let me help you put it in perspective. I said, I grew up in a country called Uganda. Education was not free. So if my parents couldn't pay my school fees, I didn't get to go to school. You are in a situation where you go to school for free. Can you be grateful for that? I said, we didn't have electricity every day.
Wow.
You have electricity every day. Can you be grateful for that? Sometimes putting yourself in other people's shoes or looking at the things that other people are going through can help you to be grateful. And so if you are someone who struggles with gratitude, that might be one way to start. Just looking at what you might have that other people don't have. A roof over your head. There's someone who's homeless on the streets. There's somebody who might not eat this evening, that will go to bed hungry and starving. But you've been able to eat something. So finding, whether it's the little things, whether it's the big things, but something that you can be grateful for. I think I mentioned it on here before. There's a program that myself and my husband and my sister, we like to watch sometimes, called Dangerous Roads. Now, Dangerous Roads is literally Dangerous Roads. It's on YouTube. And it's this guy that goes into remote places. And he will travel with his drivers, these truckers. He'll travel with them. And sometimes a journey that could take 4 hours will take 4 days. Because they don't have good infrastructure. Because they don't, and you see the struggle is real, the hustle is real. You see what they're going through, and it's like, oh my days, these guys are putting themselves through a lot just to earn a little, not even much, but just to earn a little to help them keep going. And you look at your own situation, how you very easily take things for granted. Like, honestly, if I woke up in the morning and there was no electricity, I would be frantic. I'm like, where is the electricity? But if I was in Uganda and I woke up and there was no electricity, I'd be like, okay, it's just another day. So it pays for me to actually be grateful, just even for things like that. Electricity. So looking at other people's situations, putting yourself in other people's shoes can help you to be grateful. The fact that you leave the house and you come back home, that's reason enough to be grateful, because do you know there is someone who walked out of their house and got hit by a car and they did not make it back home. There is someone who walked out of the house today and they collapsed and didn't make it back home. There is someone who might go to bed and not wake up, but you wake up. You think that that's not reason enough for you to be grateful?
That's right. That's so right. But Elizabeth, but I know a lot of people, especially men, they're afraid. I mean, I could compare them with the Asian men, because I'm Asian, by birth, Indian. It's so difficult for them to say thank you to their spouses. Let's come back to that.
Okay.
So my suggestion is, if you can't say thank you to your spouse or even your parents, elderly parents, these days you have a lot of cards. You can just write them a card, right?
No, honestly, you can. And do you know something that you can do that can increase the romance in your house? Is leave little notes of gratitude, or you want to call them love notes, it's up to you. Little notes of gratitude around the house for your spouse to find. Just do that. See the difference it will make.
Oh, my God.
This is like a PG show, so let me.
No, I think dear men, if you're watching this program, watching this episode, and if you're struggling to say thank you or even I love you to your wife, just put some love notes, post it wherever she may be able to see, or even your parents, pick up that phone and say, or if you can't pick up the phone and verbalize your gratitude towards your parents, send them a note, send them a card, or send them a box of chocolates, or send them something they would love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it is important that as adults that we express gratitude, so our younger ones who are around us can see that. You must role model it. You have to role model it. It's so important.
There you go. And it can be a gratitude journal. You can even do this thing they call a gratitude jar.
Yes.
Just writing on a little piece of paper what you're grateful for. Put it in a jar. And you know what? They say that when you're grateful for something, it increases. So like just do it.
And
Just show that gratitude.
that's what I say, that God watches over us and see whether we are grateful or not, for Him to bless us in bigger ways. I know it sounds like a barter trade, but you know what? That's the fundamental of it.
Like we are like God, right? And He loves praise. And praise is about thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Enter, in Psalm 100, if you look at, I think it's the Message translation, it says that thanksgiving is the key
Ooh,
into His presence.
yes, it
The
is.
key or the password, something like that.
Let me check. Let me check.
I think it's the Message translation. It's like the password to get in. So gratitude can get you into spaces that you might never even have imagined yourself getting into, just by being able to be grateful. And it could be just as simple as just showing appreciation the best way that you can. It's a good I want to say character trait, because not everyone is grateful, not everyone shows appreciation. So being able to work on yourself so that you are someone who is constantly showing gratitude. um like, people will want to be around you, people will want to come to whatever it is that you're doing, because you're showing that gratitude, because you appreciate. If somebody never shows appreciation to you, you won't be drawn to them. Let's be real with ourselves. That's the reality.
We can't stress enough. We can't stress enough because next week we're going to speak about the five languages of love.
Five love languages. Here we come.
Yes, it's a great book, Gary Chapman. But we're going to just unpack the way how we understand the book. But you know what? This month it's going to be something. Let's you and I start something that we have never done before, and that's being grateful.
Mm.
And now I'm thinking, who have I not been grateful in my life?
Do you know, at the end of last year, I gave a talk in the community. I ran a workshop, and it was about looking back on the year, but also it was about gratitude. And one of the things I challenged people to do is to go away and find at least three people that they need to say thank you to, or they need to show appreciation to. Like, before you go into 2024, just go and show some appreciation. And so, like, it's really important for us to practice it. You might have some health conditions that might be linked to just a hard heart, and being grateful can help. Like, it helps with your health. Like,
Mm.
try it and you will see the difference that it will make. I can't give you the science statistics now, but you can go and do your research, and you will realize the difference it makes.
Because remember, you talked about dopamine,
Hmm.
being grateful, it increases your dopamine. And once your dopamine is in a good place, that is the happy pill, man.
Life is good.
Life is good. So, if you have pain, the pain will disappear. If you have sadness, it will disappear. And
Mm.
if you're angry with somebody, it will disappear, because you know what? The adrenalines are all, they're on full blown in your own system, and you will be a happy cherub. So, Elizabeth, so
Yes.
one of the things that um, I wanted to share is, it's once you're grateful to, this is particularly saying and talking to couples who are in a relationship. When you are grateful and when you express gratitude to your spouse or your partner, there I already mentioned about strengthening relationship, but there is an invisible bond that builds up. So every night before you go to bed, like how you told Janaya to, you encouraged her every night, us who are women of faith or men of faith, we pray together. So for those who are not in that space, saying thank you to your partner and spouse before you sleep, it kind of builds that atmosphere and it strengthens, and the bond is kept alive. Does that make sense? There is a science behind it. There is, but you know what? Let's not go into science. This is how I feel, because I do that every day.
But what's that statement by Maya Angelou? People don't care what you know.
Yeah, until.
Wait, no, I need to get this right. They care. They know how you make them feel. It's about how you make them feel, right? Okay. They don't care what you know, but it's about how you make them feel. That's not. I'm misquoting it right there, but those are the bits, the main bits you need to be conscious of. It's not about how you or the knowledge or whatever. It's about how you made them feel. And when you show gratitude to someone, it brings a happy feeling. It brings a good feeling. But like I say, when someone is not used to receiving gratitude or being shown appreciation, they might find it very strange and very uncomfortable, and it might even trigger something. But don't let that stop you from showing appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So just because someone didn't take it the first time doesn't mean you can't keep showing appreciation to them. If they mean something to you, they're making a difference to you, they're impacting you in some way, then show the appreciation.
So there is a quote that she says here. Oh, I lost it. Jeez.
Do you want me to find it?
No. I found it. I just found it. Me and my hands. It says, let gratitude be the pillow that you say your prayers every night. Yeah, let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer.
Yeah.
So before you close your eyes, and especially when you lay beside your spouse, hold hands and say, I appreciate you. I thank you for this good day that we've had together. If it's not a very good day, thank him or her that it's not been a good day for us, but tomorrow will be better.
No, that's that. There you go. That's the one I was looking for. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And that's a good one to just take away, and to just like let it just marinate. Like, how are you making people feel?
Elizabeth, put it down on your. Put that quote down.
I think
Type it down. People will forget. Yeah.
What you say.
Great.
People
Yes.
forget what you did, but people will never forget how you
made them feel.
And gratitude is about how you make people feel. Showing appreciation is about how you make people feel. And don't think that somebody doesn't need to know. No, they need to know. They need to know. If somebody's making a difference to you, if somebody's impacting you in one way or another, then they need to know. Don't assume that they already know. That's how you take people for granted, by assuming that they already know that you are grateful for them. No. It doesn't hurt to send a message, to, send a voice note, send a letter, send flowers, send whatever it is, just to show your gratitude. It's about how you make that person feel. It's how you make them feel. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, there's so many names popping in your head that you need to show appreciation to, send them a message, send a voice note.
Voice note, a WhatsApp. Yep.
Yeah. Give them a call. I just wanted to say thank you.
Or send them an emoji.
No. Write some words. Emojis can be misinterpreted.
Words with emojis. All those nice happy emojis.
Yeah, no, honestly, because it's very easy for us to take people for granted. Um, it's something that I think about. I'm gonna say a lot because, especially like since the time my brother passed away,
Mm.
because when you lose a loved one, you kind of think, did they know that I loved them? Did they know that, I really appreciated them? And when you miss them, you're like, oh, I wish they were here. This is what we could be doing. And so, like, I remember just saying to myself, like, because when you go to funerals, you hear so many nice things about people. But I always ask myself, did that person know that that's how you felt about them? Because I remember my brother's funeral, so many people say so many nice things, and I was like, did he know? Did you ever take a moment to tell him? Because otherwise, like, it's great for us hearing it now, but so if there is someone that you need to show appreciation to, whether it's your spouse, and yeah, I must show appreciation, yeah, to Tunji and to Robert for the way that they support us and allow us to flow with our giftings and do the things that we do. Last week I went to Kirubai's house and we were going to see somebody, and we're going to see a friend who sadly lost her son. And Robert, drove us there. He sat in the car and waited for us. He didn't complain. He was happy to do. And I'm just like, thank God for husbands who are happy to serve their wives like that. It's so amazing. And we can't take it for granted because not every man is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not every husband is like that. I tell people in my house, my husband does most of the cooking. I'm not ashamed to say that. But I really appreciate him for all that he does. I can sit there and he'll look after me. And he's great with Janaya. He's not your typical, African dad from back in the day that just like the woman is the one that does everything. He's not. And so I really appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. I can go away, come back. The house is not upside down. The house has been kept. And yeah, and everyone's happy. So don't take people for granted, because you don't know how long you have them for.
Wow, very sobering.
Very, but it's something that sometimes we have to think about to just help us put things in perspective, because it's easy for us to take people or things for granted because we think we will always have, they will always be there. Your parents, you think they will always be there. You don't show appreciation when you know you should. I like to say I love you and thank you to my parents, regardless of my age, because I'm just like, I know how blessed I am to have them. And so when I need to show appreciation, in fact, not when I need, because I need to every time, but as much as I'm able to show the appreciation, to let them know, like, they're not taken for granted. Yesterday my mom was traveling to Uganda, and after we dropped her off at the airport, I sent my dad a message, and he responds and says, thank you for taking care of her. And I'm like, oh, Dad, it's my pleasure. She's my mom, isn't she? So likewise, when he picked her up at the airport today, I'm like, thanks, Dad, for picking Mom up. So it's just showing, yeah, it's about how you make people feel.
So true. So true, Elizabeth. So we're coming to a close now, Elizabeth. And you have a promotion to show, right? A summit that we both are going to be conducting a workshop.
That's it.
So, Elizabeth, do you want to?
I can share the video now.
Share the video now?
Share the video, yes. Let me share the video.
Transformational change comes from the renewal of your mind and your heart. Willpower and strength alone are not enough. You need God power. So join us. Listen and learn from senior women leading well in the workplace, and step into transformational change for your own life and leadership.
video was about the Wise Well Woman Summit, which is happening on 15th and 16th of March. And like Coach Kirubai just said, we are going to be hosting a workshop, or facilitating a workshop, should I say. And we're really looking forward to it. And actually, we are grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve other women and to just be part of this event. It's going to be amazing. So if you are, I want to say if you're a woman, but yeah, men are allowed to come on the Friday.
Yeah.
On the Friday evening, men are welcome to join us. Let me just share the link. So men are welcome to join us on the Friday evening. And on the Saturday, it is strictly women. Strictly women. So if you know a woman, send them the link. Invite them to come. It's going to be in Hammersmith in London. So for those who are outside of London, it can be like a girls' weekend. Find some other women, make it a weekend away, a weekend in London, and you won't regret it. It's going to be, there's amazing speakers. It's going to be about, inspiring women, challenging women, encouraging them to really show up in, their places of work, to show up in community, wherever you are doing something. It's showing up and being the best version of yourself. It's showing up and impacting lives. It's showing up and making a difference to the people that you work with and interact with. So click the link. If you need any more information, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to share the information with you. It would be great to meet you and to see you in the room.
Yes, I think you will, the energy, the empowerment will be out of this world. And I'm looking forward to it, Elizabeth, to be there in that room, and also, learning from other women, and looking forward to doing our workshop.
Absolutely. And you know what? One of the speakers is coming all the way from America. Mm-hmm. So for those that are in London that are making one excuse or the other, like, make this year the year that you start stepping out and doing things that will grow you, and getting into environments that are going to grow you and make you better. This is one of those events. That's it.
So see you next week for the 5 languages of love. We're going to speak about it, and in conjunction with Valentine's Day. So, prepare. Don't forget to get that special card. Prepare that special meal. I know we're going to speak on the 13th, right? It's the 13th, but I know, yes, every day can be Valentine's Day, but make this special.
That's what I was thinking,
Yeah, make it special. Cook a favorite meal for your spouse, your partner. Buy him some chocolates, or do something naughty. Use your imagination. Do something.
Okay.
Send the children away, and have the house to yourself. I can go on and on. But anyway, thank you for joining us for our episode today, expressing gratitude in our relationships. See you next week. Bye for now.
Sorry, Kirubai, just before we go, a shout out to some of the people who've been commenting. So thank you, Tunji. Thank you, Ethel, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Reverend George Kalu, for joining us. Hi. Thank you for being part of the conversation today. And honestly, like it, share it, and send it to someone else, and just encourage them. But thank you so much. You have been an encouragement to us. So thank you so much. And Kirubai, thank you to you.
Thank you. Likewise. We make a great team, Elizabeth.
Yay. Right. Okay. Well, have a lovely evening or lovely rest of the day, depending on where you're joining us from. God bless you.